Well, here we are back again. Unfortunately, it is just me, and as you know, it's a special guest. Dark Moon is here. Yeah, we're Mr. Jay Scheidel. It's been a bit delayed, but welcome back to the OJ Power Hour. I'm, of course, your host, Oslodo. We do have Dark Moon on with us. Um,
Hello.
yeah, we apologize for any issues that we have with audio quality or video quality, as Jay is usually the one that deals with this, and he is very busy. I have taken over, so my streaming capabilities nowhere near as good as his. I can only do so much, but yeah, Darkmoon, great to have you on. It's good to have another admin on here, so I can't get in trouble for anything.
I mean, I can't guarantee you're not going to get in trouble for stuff. You're paired up with me right now.
It is what it is. I see. We Jay Scheidel will soon be joining us. I think he's
Yeah.
actually here now.
What?
Maybe.
Who? When? Where?
Look at
Hey,
that.
look, now you guys can do your intro, and I can just sit back and enjoy.
It is
Woo!
we are joined by Jay. We will get him on camera in a moment. We're gonna have to do some on-the-fly cropping, but hey, it's not the first time I've done that
It
either.
works.
It does. Jay, you made it, buddy.
Oh my goodness, that was a little bit crazy.
I heard. I mean, real life does take effect, and it does all the time. But good to have you here. We're glad everyone is around. Wow. What a week it has been since we have been on here last. I gotta say, it's been a busy one. We
Yeah.
have we've seen the league is really going strong. A lot of challenges, got a lot of stuff to talk about. The Derby still ongoing. A lot to talk about there as well. Yeah, this has been a real good one. How have things been by you, Jay? Other than insanely busy.
Oh my. Into the school year, and I moved.
You did move, and congratulations on that. Nice, got a new place starting up, setting up, and that is the reason why streaming duties have been relegated to the F team, or in this case, the O team.
Yes, the O team.
The O team. That's it. That's
Something
exactly
like
it.
that.
Yeah, we've it's been busy. Yeah, it's been an interesting week on the randomizer, and an interesting week for all of us. Yeah, me, I don't do a whole lot, so yeah, there's always that. So, um, seeing as how we are already all here together, I really don't. And we admit we promised new ads. They're not here yet. I'm sorry. We've real life has
Yeah.
gotten in the way of a lot of our
One of you
stuff.
guys moved. Yeah.
Remember that into the school year and move thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fair.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We will have new ones coming. But since we started off with our guest, let's talk to our guest, Dark Moon.
Hi.
Welcome to the OJ Power. We are once again very happy to have you on.
Thanks. Good to be here.
All right, so we will get Jay cropped in as soon as
Uh-oh.
possible. So yeah, we have you on here and
Sure.
to talk about art. But
I
before
do art.
you do art, but before that, let us have a little chat
Oh
about.
no.
There we go. Let us have a little chat about your history with the server, because you've been around for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken.
Too long.
Oh,
I
there is
predate the current version of the Discord.
The
that tells
what?
you
How
something
many?
right there.
I came in when there were two Discords. There was the tournament Discord, which is basically the one we're on now, and the community center Discord. Those two merged into a completely different Discord. That is technically ours now. Although most of the people that are here, I'd say 75% of the people that have stuck around are new people that came in after the two Discords merged, or are imports from the tournament server.
Mhm.
That would
So,
make sense. Yeah.
Mhm. I was on both. I did art for both. I mostly consider myself a tournament person, so that's kind of where I lump myself in.
mhm.
And that's fair. That's fair. So how did you start on FFR? I mean, if you predate the servers, there's probably a big history here that we would love to get into.
I don't know if it's that interesting. I browsing on YouTube way back at my old job when I had nothing better to do, which was often because I work very quickly on the projects I have, and I was not stupid enough to ask for more work. Um, they were like there was various randomizers that pop up. So I started watching like just video game speed runs and so forth because those were interesting. And then randomizers came up, and I liked those better because while speed runs are cool and all, you're playing the same game over and over again. Whereas with a randomizer, you get a new experience every time. It's kind of the selling point.
Mhm.
So I started watching those, and I watched Dragon Warrior Randomizer and Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, and those were cool. And then Final Fantasy Randomizer popped up, and I was like, this one's not only cool, but I think I could play this one. So,
That
I, yeah,
that sounds very familiar to what I did. Yes.
yeah. So I watched 2017, 2018 tournaments, the spring tournaments that they had on at the time. I think there was a couple other minor ones, and there was like the Chaos Rush tournament at one point, a new player tournament from 2017, a few different small things. And once I watched through all those and I was caught up, I'm like, well, I guess I'll join and learn. And I joined in time for spring tournament 20, like before 2019, I think, but I didn't actually participate in that one just because I didn't feel like I was ready.
Mhm.
And that was her wise words because I still don't feel like I'm ready.
Does anybody?
But it's too late now. And then I've just kind of been here ever since. I caught on like mold, and you can't get rid of me.
Oh, I wouldn't say that much.
I've had a lot of
I
people
might
tell
have
me
to
that.
feel that.
So not for FFR, just in general. So
Well, so again, you predate this server,
Mhm,
and you've been here
mhm,
quite a long time.
mhm.
So your history in the community. I mean, again,
Yes,
you're the art guy, and let's not forget
I
the
am.
fact you've been an admin for quite a long time. About the time I've been around the server.
For a lot of people, yeah, I've just been here.
You exist. You predate the server. You exist.
I do. Yeah, it's all stuff that I fell into. Onrax Summer Vacation, that was a 2019 summer tournament, was one of the first things I did work for. I can't remember who all was on the crew. It was community center event, and I don't remember most of their names. Just so
Mhm.
long ago. Um, what? Wow. So I volunteered to help a couple of them with some of the art, and I ended up doing the layout for On Rec Summer Vacation, which at the time was just finding pixel art because that was what I was doing. I have my web comic that I ran for years and years, and it was all pixel art. So I have a huge archive of pixel art that we'll be discussing later. And so I came up with a design that was like some Secret of Mana oceanside beachfront property, along with a logo I designed. That was the first time I did the kind of logo I wanted to do for this community, which was the Final Fantasy font with like some sort of like gradient design similar to what the current run of logos has been since, I don't know, 7 I think is when they really started doing it, and they went back and redesigned the earlier games logos to match that distinctive style for Final Fantasy logos. I wanted that for the randomizer. I made that for On Rec Summer Vacation. I've refined it since then, plenty of times. And then from that point forward, I just started volunteering on both of them to help with art because I'm a graphic designer. That's my trade. And I just kind of took over the job from everyone else and wouldn't let go. Got my claws in. Now no one else does it. I'm happy if other people want to do stuff, but I'm also picky. So most of the time, I'm like, yeah, just
Just let me do it
let me
anyway.
help. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me help with this.
I don't blame you. I mean, to be fair, when I won the derby, when I didn't win, when I came in fourth in the derby, and
Hmm.
you pinged me, it's like, what do you want? And I was like, what can I have? Like,
A
like
lot,
a
a
lot,
lot.
yeah. Apparently quite a lot. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love my ducky. My ducky is my favorite. He is going to be with me. Now, again, I have a platypus coming,
Yes, you do.
and
We'll be
I am.
discussing that later too.
We will indeed, and I'm looking
We
forward
will.
to that. So when do you remember when you won your first admin election?
Second election ever on this server. I don't know how many years ago that was. I don't know the exact year anymore that we merged. But the very first crew was Caleb and Demarine and Fizzlebeef, Leggy, and Silverfire. Those were the 5 admins at the time. Most of them were just matriculated out, whatever the term is. Within that first term, but Fizzle stuck around. And when they did the next election cycle, Danny and I were 2 of the 4 that were elected in along with Fizzle. I think Gregley may have been another one. And then I've
Mhm.
somehow just been, you know, in ever since.
Yeah,
So I don't.
you've definitely been
I,
around. Like, I mean, I can't
I
remember a time when you weren't here.
I take no credit for that. You people just haven't voted me out, and now you can't. So
That's true. There has been a bit of a change to the way the system works, but
I didn't. I was okay with this proposition. I wasn't the one that raised it, but I do think that having the admins be a more permanent fixture, so we can just plot and plan events without worrying about having to be kicked out in 6 months, is a good thing for the health of the Discord. Honestly, it's my opinion. Not everyone agrees with that. I understand, but I do think that's good.
we'd like to welcome Jay
That's
Scheidel
fair.
to the actual camera now. We got him fixed. We have him in there now. I got it fixed.
Woo!
We're
Welcome to whatever 480p I have right now.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're flying on one wing here, my friends, but we're making do. We're making do. I have
I,
to.
I am mooching off of my neighbor's internet, who happens to be my parents. But
Oh,
Well, I
they're
mean,
they're about 100 feet that way.
It's
Thankfully,
free.
my Wi-Fi can reach it.
it's free. It's free. That's what matters. Now, I have to bring this up because I find it very funny. You have a very specific role in the FFR server that I think everyone loves to poke fun at, Mister Not on the committee.
yes.
So you want to tell
Why?
us why that exists?
Well, I've helped out on a few different tournaments. I tend to help out in every tournament planning channel that we have because I'm an admin. You can't get rid of me. Literally, we are not allowed to not be in every single channel on the Discord. It's just
It's true.
that's basic functionality. So since I'm there, I can't help but throw in my 2 cents. But often at times it's like, "Hey, Darkmoon, we want you to do this." I'm like, I'm not actually serving on this committee, and that happens. Like, I'm not. Remember, I can give you an answer, but I'm not on the committee.
Not on the
And
committee.
it happened enough times that I was just like, okay, you know what? We're gonna make a title for this. So, not on the
I'm
committee.
gonna make it. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's it.
I think that was
hilarious.
winter tournament planning when that came about.
Yeah, you guys made a joke about it, and it finally just became a title because I kept having to say, "Sure, here's your answer," but again, it's not official
I'm not
because
on the
I'm not
committee.
on the
Wait.
committee.
That just came about during the winter tournament that we just did.
Yeah,
Oh wow!
You guys
So
made the joke, so I
yeah,
made the title.
it's relatively new.
I
Yeah,
guess
it is.
so. It must be if I remember it, and he's been around that long.
Yeah, no, it's recent. The joke about me not being on the committee's been for like a year, but because I'm always online. Like I'm online about as much as Jay Scheidel is now, and he's a recent admin
Hey.
addition. So yeah,
Well, listen, no hard feelings here. He did beat me in the election, and he beat me badly. So, and
people
then
like him.
well, and then apparently somebody decided it'd be a great idea to put me in a mod position. And that I don't know how you guys managed that vote.
There's 5 of us. We all agree it's fine.
You really want Jay Scheidel and Laszlo
But-
back in the same room again? Really?
Can't really
Pretty
stop
much.
it at this point. He just follows you around.
Hey,
No, I wouldn't go that
you're not
far.
wrong.
Wouldn't go that far. I so I got a bit of a surprise one for you here, Darkmoon, because you've been around so
Sure.
long, and it wasn't on the initial list of questions, but you brought it
Okay.
up, and I really think it's important. What do you like? You've been here with the server for a long time. What are some of your best memories of this community, or just runs in
Oh.
general? I mean, there's a lot out there. I know. Put you on the spot.
I mean, that is a thing. There's been a lot that's happened, and there's a lot of races that I've forgotten over time. I do some of the memes, the big meme runs that we have that were impressive. The red Medusas of Death. That was one that I actually commentated. I think everyone loves how excited I got in that particular one because I was on comms for that, and it was a wild race. Now there are some people that don't enjoy that particular run. Tristal being one of them, who got really screwed over by that run.
Mhm.
But I think that's a fun race. I mean, most of my time, I'm here all the time. So a lot of my memories are just kind of hanging out in a back room and shooting the breeze with people and cracking jokes and having a good old time. So I've made friends here that I wasn't expecting. Fizzle and Danny, Luffy, you two. Like, you asked me like 5-6 years ago if I thought I was gonna be making friends here. I was like, no, I just came in to play the game and do some art and then keep to myself. So
Boy,
that didn't happen.
seriously, Dark Moon, are you
now you're
seriously?
everywhere.
Are you like me in that respect? I had the same thing. I'm like, I'm not here to talk to people. I'm just here to run some seeds and have some fun. And then it's like,
Oh yeah, community.
am I now I now have a show on this channel. Me and Jay.
Right,
Me and
yeah.
Jay. What happened? What happened? My God.
I spent years and years in the Castlevania communities. The Castlevania dungeon was where, like, they had a forum, and they have another forum. They've gone through many forums, but I was on one of the old forums there for the better part of my college career. And then I hung out on like a spin-off of that for another 5 or 6 years before on and on life moves on.
Hmm.
So I mean, like if you were to ask me what community I felt like I was a part of, I would have said Castlevania up until like 3 or 4 years ago, and then I became an admin
Mhm.
here, and I have to admit that at this point, Final Fantasy is the one that I have to identify with, even though I still go and check out the Castlevania people. Like, hey, I'm one of you guys. I swear.
Sure, that
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean,
I'm still alive.
yeah, I mean, I kind of did the same thing too with Free Enterprise. I kind of bounced around there for a while, and then kind of
Mhm.
dedicated myself fully to FFR. And oh, have made some decisions.
If I were better at video games, I'd be in the Castlevania community. You guys are all lucky. Terrible at video games. So
Don't you have a title? Aren't you a champion, sir?
I am. I thank Maddie for that. She dragged me through that one.
All right, well, I'll let you go for that one. So you mentioned that you did a lot of graphic art and that was your trade.
Yep.
And I know that you are the guy that hands out all of the custom art and all the duckies and all the
Yeah.
platypi. So
That I do.
and you said it was kind of one of those things where somebody asked you to do it and you're like, sure, yeah, I'll do it. Why not? Are
Hmm.
you so that's how you get into it? Are you gonna keep doing it? Do we have to look forward to the Dark Moon era of all sorts of fun art for the not for the foreseeable future?
I'm not giving it up anytime soon. No.
Great.
So yeah, I'll be here.
It's awesome.
Pry it from his cold dead hands.
So
Well,
far,
I'm not starting that war.
I'm
Nope.
picky. I'm picky. So I mean, someone would have to be much better at than I am for me to let go of my grip on it.
No, I mean, to be fair, before we started the show, we were talking about the ladder and how Darkmoon was not happy I took his title of King of Silver away. Now I'm worried.
Yeah, you're fine. I'll
Oh,
just go. I'll fight Ale when he gets dumped down to gold, and I'll steal his place. It'll be fun.
oh, we are all waiting for Ale to end up in that bucket. I mean, he's not
Yes,
here
yes.
tonight, so you can definitely
I,
poke at him.
I have a standing challenge against him, and Phoenix is going to make our blind flags. So
Ooh, I can't
Nice.
it'll
wait to see
happen.
that.
It'll happen.
Oh, I'm sure it will. The blind flags for the last one was just a. Oh boy, oh boy,
Some
that
fun
was a
there.
show. That was a show
That
for
was
sure.
quite was.
It was, and we do have to talk about it a little bit later as well as we do our
Mhm.
updates. Um, so this is kind of a bit of a loaded question because you've been doing this for so long. Do you happen to have a favorite duck and or platypus that you made for somebody? One that you're particularly proud of?
Sure. Hold on. You guys get to see my archive probably. Well, actually, I'm
No.
not sure if you can. Hold on. I can show you my archive. 1 second.
Oh,
Let me just.
we do have you in the showcase. I can switch over to that, and we can see if
Well,
it's on the.
sure. You switch over to that. I don't know if right now you can
Well, that would be
because
your.
it's in a separate window. I don't know if you can see what I'm
Ah,
browsing through. So I'll have to go grab that in a second. Just give me one moment.
you take your time.
I have every duck I've designed is in here, so I'll just
Wow.
take a screenshot. Oh, can you see those?
No, but I'm just amazed that you have them all.
Of course. I don't get rid of anything.
Yes, Jay, you
Never.
disappear, but don't you worry. I will bring you right back.
Yeah, so hold on. Let me take a clip of this, and I can show you guys everything that I've designed, and we can discuss.
Yes.
Eat.
Uh, there. And let me slap that over here. There you go. There's all
Wow.
the ducks so far. And if I
Oh
have
my.
to admit, I mean, I've tried to do good work on all of them. I think some are better than others, and that's just by the nature of it. I like Earthwing's Garland. That one's, I think, awesome looking, really cool. Um, but if I had to admit, my favorite is probably Papa Duke's. His Abobo, like he said, I asked him what kind of duck he wanted, and he said, I want something that looks powerful and muscly, and like you've seen the duck sprites, they're all right there. You see exactly what there's no
Yeah.
way to add
No,
abs to it, but
there's none.
he said this, and the very first thing I thought was Abobo from Double Dragon. So I just literally brought in that NES sprite, did a tiny bit of shading on it, and then cut off a Bobo's head and slapped the tiny duck head on top. And I'm like, this is majestic.
It is. I
I
am.
never realized that's what it was until right
is.
now.
Yep.
It's
Oh my
Abobo.
god.
It clicked right away as soon as I saw. It. I was like, that's beautiful. That's.
Yeah.
I do admit it is a personal favorite of mine for sure.
The majesty of it. I also do like Jat's Maple Mage, which isn't a duck, but I have it in the archive because I made it for him after I started making ducks. So
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
That the whole collection of ducks right there, all of them?
So far, yeah.
Wow. I see Luffy's
Okay.
on. I can see Luffy's there. That's always a good one. I see Raviolis because I know that one off by heart. My forever rival,
Uh,
Ravioli.
Only one who did two, like only one double set of Mogs. Okay.
Actually,
Yeah, there's only 2 Mogs.
if you
There's
remember,
there's a few that are like a few people have asked for the same class, and when we started it was just like pick your Final Fantasy class, and I expected that it would just be Final Fantasy 1 classes. And then someone was like, "Can I get a blue mage?" I'm like, "I suppose." And that pretty much like quickly like spiraled
Open the
out of
door.
control because people started requesting specific characters or like classes way outside the bounds of the original.
Yep.
Like Shum for his platypus asked for the sage, and Maple also asked for the sage. So you can see I actually designed 2 different like art styles. I didn't reuse art for
Nope.
either of them.
no, you did
Yeah,
not.
Right.
The black mages are
So-
all different. I do like that. Now, of course,
Mhm.
I was one of those people who was like, because you asked, what do you want? And I was like, can I choose from any Final Fantasy? And you're like, within reason. I was like, Setzer
Within
Gambiotti, make me a gambler duck, please, please, please.
Yep.
And then you asked me about
Yep.
platypus, and I said, make me a Setzer platypus, please, please, please. Maybe with some cards or some dice, maybe.
So
I'm not trying
I
to push the
think you
bounds.
went like. I think you went. You have a Moogle. You just want another one.
Yeah, the double.
yeah.
I think that's how that conversation went.
Well, that's the thing. For Hate and G Shidels, the 2 Mogs, I really had to work to try and make it so that you guys looked different. Because
Oh, yeah.
there's only so much I can do with that.
No, it's true. There's
with the white.
Slightly different colors, slightly different shading. So
Yep.
I think
Slightly different
Hate's,
shape.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hate's I think comes from the Final Fantasy V Moogle, and I think yours is specifically Mog's Moogle. Even though they're both
Yeah.
named Mog, I think I use different Moogles for the 2 of them.
Yeah, and I think Ale has Dragoon, which is beautiful. Yeah, I'm just looking at the ducks here. It's just because
Yeah.
it's very rare to see them all in the same place. Some people
I'm the only
are
one that has it. Yep.
well. Again, a wise person once said to me that the ducks are more common than the platypus.
Yes.
And you can
Yeah,
see that now.
they're
I do.
think we only have one round of platypi so far, so
Yep.
the ones that I'll be designing this year will actually be our second ever official platypi.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yay, I feel so honored. I knew I wasn't gonna beat Budge, but I was happy to just be there. And
Yeah.
and the fact that I think Guardian Mercs already has, I believe, a lock platypus, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, it looks like we have 2 years because I have 4 here, 5, 4, something like that. So there's got to be 2 years here, and I think I actually 1 or 2 people didn't claim a platypus. But
Okay.
for note, I have kept their names in reserve, so if they ever do request a platypus, they get to have one.
Oh.
I don't ever forget.
Okay, that's good. And Gary Mergus in chat pointing out that I am correct. It is a locked platypus.
Mhm.
I was. That was a close photo finish for that duckling for that platy party with 1 point separation. Whoo, we were right on the edge.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's talk about the next thing on my list.
Sure.
You and me have been hard at work adding
Yes.
those alt fiends.
Yes.
Yes.
And I know that we had some graphical issues along with my programming problems that came along. So,
Eh.
and I know that for some of them, like you really wanted the Phantom Train, and you said, in your own words,
Probably not happening.
probably not happening, just because of
Probably not happening. Well, we can go over why in a sec. I
Sure.
will show off like some of the reasons why. Trying to bring in pull up my list of alt fiends. I have them actually grouped up by folder now. One of my favorites is specifically. Let me find the guy. Liquid Flame. I really like the Liquid Flame sprite that we did. I did. Just because of the shading on it.
oh wow,
Like yeah, he looks really good. It's an NES sprite, so it's reduced down from what it should be. But I played with the ability of the grid in Final Fantasy, which we'll cover in a second. And I was able to get an extra red in here on the sides to really make the flames look like they were dancing around the edge. I thought that worked out really well.
yeah.
so,
And
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, that's not even in the alt fiend pool yet.
We have Final Fantasy V ones you'll be adding at some point. I got everyone in except for Halicarnassus, and that was because their sprite just did not want to downgrade.
Yeah, I don't
just
think.
did not do it smoothly.
Yeah, I did. I thought there'd be a few that weren't going to work. Now I know
Only one?
the Astos
Only one?
was brilliant.
Astos?
Sorry, not Astos.
Atmos?
That's it, Atmos. See, and that's why I play
Atmos.
FFR more.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, Atmos. I was really happy with this one. Like when you look at it within the game from like the right scale, I think more like this. It blends and it's smooth. You don't notice how the grid actually like comes up on the corners here and like screws around with the shading just a little on it. Like from a distance at this point, you're like, ooh, that looks really smooth.
Yeah.
So I was pleased with that one.
I was too. I thought that one was a big favorite of mine.
As a side note, Darkmoon, if you are pointing with your mouse, it's not coming through Discord. So just
It's
FYI.
fine. Oh yeah, well,
Yep,
I'm not sharing my mouse purposefully because there's way too many cursors to deal with.
Yep. Just want to make sure. It looked like you were pointing out things.
I probably was. It's fine.
Okay.
But
So you guys want to see me do one?
Absolutely.
Do it.
I had one specifically. I figured everyone would enjoy seeing me attempt to do. Final Fantasy VI is going to be a pain in the butt. I am not denying this. I'm not certain. I'm not even certain this one's going to work, but I'm going to show the process. So first thing we do is we get rid of the pink after I select him, and then I get rid of the darkest color. Oh, that is. Hold on a second. Not anti-alias tolerance. Okay, try again. There we go.
There we go.
We don't need the darkest color because black is already on the sprite. That's the default background. So we work without that, and then we paste on in, and there is our dude. There is Ultros. Everyone wants to see Ultros.
Everyone does.
So I gotta line him up so that, because you see these, and I know it's not perfect because of the scaling for Photoshop and fitting this on OBS, but there are these grid lines. The blue grid lines indicate 16 pixels. 16 by 16 is what the NES palette sprites get imported in for our bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that I'm doing here needs to somehow fit within those for colors. So I want to try and, one way or another, make sure that if I have a distinct color I'm trying to keep in here that's separate from the rest of the boss. So like I have these yellow teeth and this eye and so forth. I want to get them positioned in such a way where they are not taking up more tiles than they need to and will allow me to have other colors in reserve for other sections of the sprite. So, I think, honestly, having him here might be best. I want to try and avoid, we have this, like, white pixel right here on a tentacle just past his eye.
Yep.
I want to try to avoid that.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So, we have a lot of purple, and this is my concern. So the next thing I have to do is, and you guys aren't going to see this, but I have to pull up my NES palette, and I have one saved, just for this reason. Shove that off over to the side, and now we can start, because we want this to be NES appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So, I need to grab the yellows, best as I can, and let's see, probably not going to be good, I'm going to delete that darkest yellow. Color in the yellow first. And this white on these pixels is going to have to go as well. Because we only have so many colors. That white is going to just become purple. It's not going to translate over.
No.
We have these reds here. I'm probably going to make this purple just because we, again, only have so many colors. And we're going to delete the darkest yellow because it's not going to work for our purposes. Next, we have to figure out our purple scaling. So, take these light colors. We're going to take all of these light colors. Hopefully this is carrying over pretty well. And we're going to grab lightish purple. That's probably good. So you can see, we're like, what's your process? How do you get this to work? And I'm sitting there going, I cheat. Long and the short of this is I'm really just cheating hardcore here. But we're going to try and grab that purple and see how that looks. And here's the problem with the color limitations, because we are running out of colors up here, but we still have yellow in here we have to deal with on the teeth and the tentacles and Ultros, and we may not be able to preserve that yellow. I'm trying, but we may not be able to, because the NES only has so many colors to play with on a sprite.
Yep.
3 total. That is actually not bad looking. I don't mind that at all. So we take all of these, and we're going to go with the darkest purple, and that should make for a decently NES Ultros, but we're going to have to figure out the teeth, and that is the fun part. So, He's not quite right in comparison to what Ultros is so normally supposed to be. Let's make him more of a bluish purple. I think that's going to look better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I have an NES palette, so I'm not like picking these colors out of just my brain. I know what we can work with and what we have available. So, it's not too bad.
Which I gotta
Now we
say is really good
yes.
because the coding in the background when you're doing this,
Mhm.
it does some request you to put that in, and
Yes.
I tend to just skip it because
Yeah.
I know your palettes are correct. So it's like, you know what, we're just gonna leave it as it is. It doesn't care. It won't override anything.
Always try and make them perfect. So there's a couple things we can do about these teeth here. These teeth aren't right. There's no, like we are very limited in what we can do with these teeth. So best bet is on this check. This is actually what the NES does too for certain things. We have like this is using two of the purples, the dark and the mid over here on the far right teeth. But these teeth overlap with the section that has light purple. So there's two options we can do. We can either try and preserve the light, or we can try and preserve the teeth. And I honestly think, now that I'm looking at it, let's preserve the teeth. So that then leaves us here with trying to figure out what to do about the eyes and the teeth that we have. We've got mid. We know mid is our color, so we're gonna take mid. Actually, let's do like this and there, and shade that. Yeah, like this. That looks good. And then we got to figure out how this is going to work and actually look right. And yes, I am not one-to-oneing this because there's just only so much you can do. Sometimes you have to get inventive and tinker around with it. That's not bad. Let's do that for this over here. And then, yeah, we need to get rid of that yellow because that's just not going to work. We need to bring that over here and do exactly what I did before, but I had to tinker with it to see. Come on, thank you. Okay. There is Ultros there, and the last thing we have to do is decide what the hell we're doing with this light purple here, because it's not really going to work for our purposes. We can't. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. We only get 3. So the best that we can do, and I'm just going to actually sample this out. We're going to take you, copy paste, move him down so he lines up proper. This is the easiest way to just fill and select, and we're going to take him and go like this. There. And Ultras.
All right.
There
Not
you
bad.
have it.
Like, I
Yeah.
think probably what I'll end up doing, I'm not going to do it now. I'll keep him in reserve. I'll probably end up coming in and adding a little more, like, dark shading
Yeah.
here that isn't from the original
Yeah.
sprite, but will help it to feel more rounded, because we have to invent a little while we're doing this. Actually, I think I'm almost done. And you know what? Even though it's actually on the sprite and we could preserve... No, we actually do have to get rid of that. There we go. That's not bad. That's actually a decent...
That's
But you can see the issue is the FF6 sprites are really detailed and they have a lot of color. And he doesn't look as good as he did in the FF6 version.
No.
But he's not bad.
No,
He's
not-
actually, all things considered, not bad at all. And 7 color, which is not actually 7 color. If we come into File, Save for Web, Legacy, let me... Hold on. Export. There we go. Save for Web Legacy. I will take a screenshot of this so you guys can actually see the actual palette of the dude. New. Come on. There you go. Copy that. Cancel. New. Pop. That's the... Oh, I have to actually bring it into a tab. Come on. That's the actual palette. So you're always going to have the black. And then we got the 3 purples and the yellow, and there's nothing else. That is perfect for the NES. That will import almost perfectly. And you guys saw I double-checked everything.
Yep. Well,
So this should be good.
we've had
I just
issues
save
in the
'em.
past.
Yeah, so the next one will show... I will go pull up Phantom Train, because I wanted to show you guys Phantom Train.
Yeah.
And why he's terrible. And why he may never make it into our system.
No.
But let me save this first. So, you guys have
Please-
questions? I went kind of quick there,
That's
but...
awesome.
Yeah, look, I mean,
Thanks.
it looks good. I mean, I've seen more of these than just about anybody at this point because I'm the one that's shoving them into the code and being like, "You do things and don't
Right,
break
yeah.
this."
Yeah, no, yeah. So, let's... Oh, I probably shouldn't have closed that. Oops. Pull tropes back up. 1 second. So you can see we have this. I'm not even going to bother showing the grid because that's already too much of a hassle. But let's just go pull up for a second. Phantom Train. Out of the way. Give me. Oh, Phantom Train. Where are you at, Phantom Train? I think you're on this. There
Yep.
you are. So, you
Oh,
saw
my.
how big Ultros was. Ultros almost filled this available space we had as it was. Phantom Train is gigantic, and that's because most FF6 sprites are gigantic. They're bigger than Final Fantasy 5, 4 and 5 sprites by and large. I think they even used a different scaling because the SNES could have like a better bit scaling, and I think they did some stuff to it. Anyway, so let's just fill this for a second. We're not going to save Ultras, but here you go. So standard size Phantom Train. Oh,
Oh my.
load RGB. There we go. Standard size Phantom Train. We get that much of them.
Yay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, how much? What part of the Phantom Train do you want? Because whoa, never mind. What part of the Phantom Train do you want? Because we're not getting much. We might be able to do like that, which gives the impression of Phantom Train, but it really doesn't
Right.
show off
No.
Phantom Train.
No.
You know?
No.
Yeah. And even then, like, just try to downscale its colors without losing too much. It's a hassle. I'll try one more time to do it if I can. But we also have one other thing that's an issue. Well, let me bring this in. The NES doesn't really have much in the way of brown. We have this, the 402 COO, which is up near the top next to green,
Yeah.
and then the rest of them are yellow or
Yeah.
orange or red.
Yeah.
Phantom Train is murky brown.
Yeah. The NES
So-
doesn't really have that.
No, the NES doesn't really have a color palette that works well for Phantom Train. So even if I get to convert over smoothly, which I'm not holding my breath on, we still have the problem of what exactly I'm going to do for colors.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and we only get this much of them. Like, it's compromised top to bottom for this sprite, which is part of the reason why I've been reluctant to do too much for Final Fantasy VI. I feel like most of the sprites we'd want to port in from it are just going to be way too compromised. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We will try and we will see.
Well, and you brought that to my attention. I think Phantom Train
Mhm.
was the first one you attempted, and you even said to me, it's not good.
Well, if we were going to bring in sprites, like bosses for
Oh, yeah.
like Final Fantasy VI, the two most requested ones were going to be Ultros and Phantom Train. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew Ultros was high on the list. I knew
Yeah.
Phantom Train was next, and I was like,
Oh, and looking at Kefka there too, there's so many colors just in that cape.
Yeah, right here on
Yeah.
Kefka, right here in the center. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, we'd have to compromise on him a lot. There was one that I did that was delightful, because he's super colorful, stupidly super colorful. So I kind of jokingly just did my own thing, and that was Go-Go.
Okay.
I mean,
Go-Go
technically,
did as a one-color sprite, and then I just literally took squares in the 16-bit grid and did a different palette. And it's not even smooth. I didn't even try to make it smooth. I just, like, took chunks, and I was like, this looks like Go-Go doing Go-Go things, and just randomly colored chunks of him. So,
technically, Go-Go was a boss in FF5, so you could put
he
that in there.
was, yep. So he got included. So, but you can see, some of them were smoother than others, some of them worked better than others. We do what we can.
Yeah, that's the I believe you sent me a pack of FF5 that I just haven't put into the code yet, and I see Wildham in chat. Yes, that Kefka has less color, but we all remember when Shan.
Angel Kefka?
Huh?
Angel Kefka?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, he's on my list, but he's probably on my list if we decide to do like
All chaos.
alternate final bosses. Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree for that. And
Mhm.
I was gonna say, we remember how many things Chanigan found that we broke.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. And
So many.
some of those were listen. While the graphical glitches were probably a mixed bag, the hanging bug was definitely all on me. That was my mistake, and we did fix it. Well,
Yeah,
while
and that's the thing. When we try to import certain things into the NES, as we learned, if you have one pixel that's the wrong color, it destroys all the sprites for the bosses in the It just causes this weird cascade effect.
Yeah, it
So-
it occasionally actually pulls up Lich by mistake.
Mhm.
We've
Yeah,
had that a few
sorry,
times
what?
where it's been yeah.
Yeah.
if
Really
if
weird.
if you overload the NES's capabilities,
Hmm.
there is a chance that it will grab a different palette, and when it tries to grab a different palette, a different formation, it ends up with Lich.
Yep.
I think Chanigan found that one
Okay
too.
then.
He's
So,
like, oh crap, that's not supposed to be there.
so you wanted a Setzer.
That's your Gambiotti.
Setzer platypus.
Are we gonna see this live on air?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
I mean, as
Why
long as you
not?
guys want to spend the time with me, I'm here until you guys tell me to get off the air. So
Oh.
Do it.
here's the platypus we're going to use. The first thing I need to do is I need to be smart and save this for Lodo Setzer Platy. There we go. Okay. So there's your platypus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Standing. So I'm looking at the poses and trying to figure out what I want to do. So we need to make him stand. As you can see, the platypus does. Oh, hold on a second. Image. He's 600%, so I need to take him down to. Is he 600? He's 600, right? 1 second. Zooming in. Yeah, that's 600%. Image size. Are we? We're not index. Image mode. Index color. Yep. Okay. Image size. 30 percent. 33%. Okay. And then half that again. Image size 50%. Now we're 1 for 1 on the pixels, which you guys can now see, like right there. Huzzah! And now we can actually start doing our pixel editing. And again, I'm going to cheat as much as I can. That's why I have the sprites. Let me zoom in. Okay. So we take this. I'm gonna edit, image, rotate. No, we'll rotate body piece by piece. I think that's easier. Take him, take the head, grab that off. Boop. There we go.
Oh god.
The head. You wanted the process. You're getting the process. Okay.
No, I won't stop you. I won't stop you.
I drew these once, and that's actually the platypus was drawn by hand.
Wow.
The duck was based on this little sprite that I found that I then reshaded and recolored. But the platypus was drawn by hand. Transform, rotate, clockwise. There you go. There's your arm. Delete this one because we don't need it here for this version of the sprite. Layers. Go here. Delete that. Thank you. Hide that. So then we take this. Take his gut. Yeah, take his gut and this and part of his butt. What?
Take his butt. What?
Take his butt.
Well,
Rotate. There we go. Bring him around. So there's the tummy. Arm comes up. Arm will go up to like here. Because we need a little bit of space to actually show it off. And then we take the... Oop. Take the head off, actually. Hold on.
you already did.
Well, I need it actually on a different layer.
Oh no,
There
he's
we go.
headless.
Oh,
There we go.
It's the
There we go.
process.
So
it's the
this
process.
is general shape of where he's going to be, and then we actually have to start doing shading. So first things first, we got to do is figure out how much of Setzer I'm stealing, which is as much as I can. Good artist borrow, great artist steal. So he's got this little cape, little tiny cape right here.
Yes, he does.
He is the wrong size. He is image size. He picks. Yeah, he is. 25%, please. Thank you. And let's go zoom in on him and steal. I like this little capelet right here. This is a good capelet. We're gonna take this capelet.
Yeah.
So grab his capelet. We're gonna end up doing some reshading, but I need the basics of it, and this helps me get that in now. So copy, paste, up to the top. There's your little cape. So cape comes in, and we're gonna.
Cape.
His scale is different. So move over. There we go. That just helps me get a sense of scale and feel. Whoa. No, thank you. Come on. Thank you. Do what I want. Not what you want, Photoshop. Do what I want. Go shade in, shade in. Oh, whoa. So there is basics of the cape, and we already know we're gonna actually have to like change some of this. So pull that up there, pull this up there. Don't know. Come on. Go. So you can see we start shading in your body, get that taken in. We know that there's actually more of his butt over here that we're gonna have to deal with. So general shape will probably be more like that. Head has this over here. We pull this in, give him an odd shape to him as well. Shape in, shape around. Look back at Setzer, see what his rest of his costume looks like. What do we like? So he's got sleevey here, up near the top. We like this sleeve. We're going to take this sleeve.
Yeah.
This sleeve is good. We grab the sleevey, grab this. Shoulders mostly right now. We don't care about the pad. And although he has hair on this sprite, I am not actually going to steal the hair because it's a platypus. He needs to look like a platypus. That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at this here. Pull that up to the face. That seems ish. Ish, right. Right-ish. Pop over a couple. I think it looks better. Then this is literally my process for every single one. Sometimes when someone requests something that's not in like 2D pixel, I actually have to. I got to get even more creative. So, and I think that's gonna be where his sleeve comes in. That's gonna be good. I have to get even more creative because I have to figure out like how I'm gonna like replicate the body in and do some other stuff and what art I want to draw freehand to actually get it in to do all the stuff that we need. Like the sage sprites, for example, that people have requested. That is definitely one of those ones. Where I had to like get really creative about redrawing some stuff. So bring that in. We're also gonna need to erase a little bit of this because the arm needs to come in. Here we go. So like that. I want to add a little flare. Let's add a little flare. Flare looks good.
Yes.
Flare. Okay. That's there. So there's your basic coat. I feel like that needs some shading though, which doesn't actually appear on the sprite, so we're gonna have to get inventive. I try and keep things like aligned with what the actual sprite uses. I want all the platypi and everything else I draw on, I want to actually be like proper 16-bit. So we substitute in some that are, yeah, that's good. You can tell I've done a lot of this.
Yeah, I mean, for a person who has zero artistic ability whatsoever, it is, man, it is something to watch.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good. Actually, that is nice because that adds some shading there. We'll pop that over there, over there. That looks pretty good. Okay, what does his sleeve look like? It's got blue on it. So we'll pull this blue in and shade. And I usually try and shade along with what the platypus normally looks like because that like helps to add the definition and the things that it needs to make it look proper. And Setzer has a outline around him. So in sections where the platypus arm doesn't already have an outline, I'm gonna like use the outline from the character sprite instead. So here, like this, there, over there. That's good. And then we're gonna actually have to, if Setzer doesn't have a light blue, I'm gonna have to invent the light blue. He actually uses cuffs, doesn't he? Okay. Let me pull this back a little and pull the cuff color in. There we go. There, and then what's the other side? Other side has some shading and dark along the side. I might actually add a little more darkness there to definition that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. Okay. And then we need to figure out the rest of him because he's got some body parts that we didn't replicate in and probably should. Give me a second to shade in this the rest of the way.
Man, oh man.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Not bad. Oh, crap.
No, I like that better. So you can see, the Setzer hair would help to add some definition over, but I didn't do that. He does wear belts and a pantaloon. I could pull the coat back and add a little more. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this and let the natural flow. Because I want to replicate the feel of Setzer, and he definitely has a like 3/4 pose to him. For sure. And then this is tail and foot. So let's steal foot for a second and let's do come on. A little more feeding right here. Like that.
Feeding.
That's good.
That's good.
Feeding. Add some feet. Gotta add the feet in.
He's got 3 foot. What? No.
Yeah. So, and then we actually come back over to this, and because the cloak overlaps on the feet, delete that back. There we go. That's good. Pull in here to there to this. Actually, even more definition. And yeah, this is tail, but I want to define the tail a bit better. So now we just need to add like the rest of his cloak body, which it looks like is mostly gold. there. So, oh, oh, someone is coming through with a different color. Where are you? Actually, delete that. Perfect. Um, there, and then feet. He's got booties that he wears. So we'll pull these in like that. That's going to be some black definition around here as well. Not really black because it's something else, but close enough. There, like so. And how does he's got a little gold shading on them as well. And let's add black there just to allow that in. And anything else I want to do? I think I want to steal this hand. Here, grab hand. So, copy, paste, slap to the bottom. Like that. Yeah. There you go. There's your setzer.
And there it is, a fully formed platypi.
Yep. That's not bad.
No.
You happy? Because that's the next question I always ask. Are you happy, or would you like any changes?
No, I'm totally fine with that. It goes along well with my ducky. I can now say I have a platypus in I might not be Platymus Prime, but I can still go for the title next year. I'm not banned yet.
Yeah. No, you're not banned yet.
Janigan, that's a good point. A card in the hand would be cool.
Do we have a sprite I can steal for that?
Yeah.
I am limited by what's available. I don't see a card.
Yeah,
we're just gonna.
You'd have to find the one with him actually like throwing it from the game because
Nah, we'll just draw one. They'll be fine.
you're gonna see the real thing now. Legit drawing. I can't do
Oh,
any of it.
It's a card. It's not like this is like. Oh, we're talking a rectangle.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But I mean, you're also
We don't want to push you to your skill level here, you know.
Well, I mean, we're also talking about, I mean, people say the same thing. It's just code. Just put it into the randomizer. It's like it's.
Yeah, why aren't you doing that? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Pink Mage not enough?
No.
I'm perfectly happy with Pink Mage, honestly. Do this there, like so. How's that look? Not quite right.
And see, now I have to complain and say those are diamonds. They should be red.
Well, I was just trying for a flare on them.
Yeah, just something to make it look like he's holding them.
Something to make it look right, but instead we'll go with that. And that actually does look... Well, okay, you want... Oh, whoa. You want to be real specific. Hold on.
Oh, no.
No. You wanted this.
I totally am on board with this so far.
Got to be in the right corner.
It's right. It will have to be in the proper corner.
I'm about to pull out a deck of cards and see.
Otherwise, it's not right.
That's right.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's great. I love that. That's awesome. I have a platypus.
There we go.
I'm excited. I'm happy as hell.
Now,
Awesome.
To be totally fair, I did not expect to have a duck, let alone a platypus. So I'm already tickled pink the fact that I got one. The fact that it actually looks like Setzer Gambiotti sitting there with a card in his hand. I mean, you can't complain about that at all.
I do like the platypi in certain respects. I love making the ducks. Don't get me wrong. I like the platypi though because they're a different scale from the standard FF sprite. So I actually have to like do a lot more pixel work. Oftentimes with the ducks, I can just grab art from Final Fantasy V or something and like snip bits out and just slap it on, and suddenly there's a red mage hat on a duck, and I can call it done. You know, that's relatively easy. The platypi takes some effort. It's part of the reason why I only do like 3 of these once a year. I'm willing to do more for the duckies. I think like each group of 3 gets like the top 3 gets a duck.
Top 4.
But for the platypi, it's definitely just the top 3 of the group, and that's it. And that's because they take more effort and brain power, but they look really nice once they're done.
They really do. They really do. We're definitely going to go over our time slot if that's okay with everybody.
I don't mind. I'm here until you guys want to like boot me out. So.
No. I'm talking to like. I suppose I have 2 of the admins with me, and I know there's a few more out there talking. So as long as we're okay with that,
questions. We're good. Yeah, I'm good.
Spectacular. Because
as long as the audience doesn't mind, we'll go a little over on this one.
Oh, definitely going to go a little bit over. There's no question, but that's okay. That was more enlightening than I expected. Because I mean, I'm not an artist. I code. That's all I do, and I code poorly.
There you go. So you want to talk layouts? Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to see a layout.
Sure.
I don't.
Okay,
Do
so
it.
well, we're not going to go over too much in
No,
detail.
no.
Um, but let's discuss like winter tournament for a second. And unfortunately, I don't think I have the full layout as I could do it. I think I accidentally flattened it at one point and lost some of. Well, oh no, this one.
That's
This one
it.
has things preserved.
That's it.
No, the problem is I thought I flattened more and I couldn't get to all the details. So the fun
Hmm.
thing about some of these layouts, this is the base artwork that we did for
Mm-hmm.
Winter Tournament, the most recent one that was on here, right? Like you can see each bit that comes in with it and everything, and a lot of this was done in various pieces. When I was showing off the ducks, and this is part of what inspired this. You guys, when we were talking about theme for Winter Tournament this year,
Yep.
you guys joked about the fact that Fizzlebeef had the mech thing, that the mech question, the Gundam question
Yes, yes.
that he put in there.
He always
Like, we
puts it
should
in
do a
there.
Gundam theme, and I was like, okay. And there's a reason I said that, and that was because I did this for Fizzle a little while back as a joke. I made him a Gundam duck. So when you guys said, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I totally can." So you wanted me to do a duck, and I had the time. So over the course of a day, I drew this entire Gundam. This was done in Illustrator. This was not done in Photoshop. And you guys got to watch the process slowly as I went from head to chest to each arm, added on the wings, drew in the legs. Then they were like, "We need something else," and I'm like, "Let's put a tail on it and make it look right." Um, but then the point that I wanted was I wanted to find something that looked Gundam, like not just the robot, but the whole design aesthetic of it. Because Gundam isn't just like the robots itself. I don't pay it that much attention to Gundam, for example, but I know that there's a design aesthetic and a style to things and a way that the artwork is generally done. I'm trying to find one as an example. So I did a search for just Gundam, like a Google image search. Although I use DuckDuckGo because that's me. Just what I like DuckDuckGo better.
I agree. I
Not
agree.
shilling. I just like it. So I was looking for things that would look right, and I found this wasn't the one I found, but I found stuff like this. I'm pulling it up now. Boop boop boop. There we go. I found stuff like this, and the style was like stars and a starburst and some like cityscape or trees or something else in there. So that's what I was trying to do with this layout here. That was my goal specifically was to for this layout here. So what I did was I a cheat. Good once again, good artist borrow good artist too. That's not what I was looking for. Oh, I don't have the background. So what I did was I found three different things. I found a starscape, I found a nebula, and I found trees with a sky in the background. And I kind of did a Photoshop effect between the three. I just layered each of them on there and did what's called a color burn. I think one of them was a color burn, another one might have been like a linear dodge or something. But it's just basically layer the three of them together so they kind of blend their aspects together. So that made the background we were looking for. Slap a Gundam on top like they normally do because they just kind of Photoshop up a starry background and slap a Gundam on there. Throw the logo I drew on there, which I was really proud that I managed to nail that Gundam look. That is spot on Gundam.
It
I'm not
is.
gonna lie.
It is.
It
No
is.
question.
It really is. And then that's how that came together. And we had the Final Fantasy logo, so it worked out well.
It did. It was fantastic. It was
Awesome.
it started as a joke in the Winter Tournament Planning Committee about Gundams, and that just kind of that went. Like
It did.
I had
And
no.
then seeing it being built, like seeing
Oh,
you draw a part of it, then another part, then another part. It's like, yes.
And I mean, I have everything I've ever designed preserved, so we can look at
Yep.
showing off the. Hold on, let me get rid of this.
I do remember that. That was Fall League.
Fall League,
Yep.
yeah, with the creepy eye staring at us.
Yep.
Like that. So that's just basically I grabbed an eye and I colored it to look like the eye. So grayscale, adds select the purple, add purple in Photoshop, found the moon, put the moon in front, gave it a Mars-like coloring just by upping the red on it a little, and I found a starscape from NASA and slapped that in the back. And that basically made the it came from outer space logo, but it leaked that we wanted. It was perfect for like recreating the 1950s style logo that they had.
It was.
So,
And it worked really well.
It did. Normally I do more drawing, but that particular layout was definitely like needed to be that style. The speaking of more drawing, this one was done entirely in Illustrator. So
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I again, zero art skills. Totally not saying that I have any.
There are people that are better at this than I am, but you guys are stuck with me, so
Stuck
this is
with
what
it.
I
Hey,
could
we'll
do.
take it.
Stuck with, he says. Eh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that was lividly enlightening. I will say that much. But I think
Really cool.
I think it
Mhm.
is time we will switch
Yeah.
back to this, and we can
You're good.
now get to the meat and bones, the pulp questions, because
Sure.
you're not getting away. No one's getting away without answering those. So, first one is the same, and they're always the same except for the last one. So, black
I
bait,
haven't
black.
paid attention, so
Oh, good, even
yes.
better. Black belt, yes or no?
Depends. I hate to be that person, but
You're
it
not the
depends.
first to say
Uh,
that. You won't be the last.
no, and the
Nope.
reason specifically is because is it a shard hunt or is it just a 21 of 21 no loose go straight to the bosses? Because if it's the latter, it's black belt. But if it's anything like shard hunt or loose items or anything like that, black belt just isn't viable unless the scaling's super high.
Fair
So
enough. Fair enough. So it's so
yeah,
okay. Vorpal or katana?
katana.
Of course. This will
Not
be.
even hesitate.
I know.
Well, come on, I'm always taking the thief, and so unless you've taken the Masamune out of the pool and you've incentivized the Excal, and I have a fighter on me, it's katana.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This one, I think I know the answer to this one without even asking it. White mage or red mage?
Red mage.
Yeah. See, I knew that was coming.
I want the extra elemental magic, and I think the red mage is just generally for most flag sets more viable.
until it becomes a pink mage.
Well, that's a different question. You didn't ask pink
No,
mage,
I
you
know
asked red mage.
because when we wrote these, I had not put that in the
Now,
randomizer. All right.
if you ask that question, white mage or pink mage, white mage.
Okay, that's interesting. We should
Mhm.
probably put that in there sometime. You want a fighter or a thief?
Thief.
Okay.
If I'm limited, I'm taking the thief over the fighter.
Fair enough. What is a world change that you're not a fan of? Proc gen, deep dungeon, no overworld.
Shuffled chests and stairs. I hate that flag.
Ooh.
Those flags so hard, so
Mhm.
hard. It's Fall League. We Fall League last year when we had the
Yep.
Proc Gen Overworld that also had shuffled
Mhm,
chests and
mhm.
stairs and dungeons, and or year before, one of the 2 years. Everything blends together for me. I've been here too long. And then I went into Volcano. I was one of 3 people that did this, although Danny went back and found the chest that had it. The progression in that seed was locked behind a chest in the armory in a spot where if you weren't paying attention because of how the chest shuffled around on that floor, you could easily miss it. And I
Mhm.
did and someone else did, and we both got zeros for our teams. And that's just because now my opinion on that will change if we ever make it so that once the chest is opened, you can graphically see that it was opened, because then that miss is not going to happen.
True.
But right now, I have had bad experience with it, and I hate that flag.
Very good. All right.
Fair.
What's your favorite change to the randomizer, or what's your favorite addition?
That doesn't seem fair for me to answer because I've been behind a few of these flags.
Eh,
The ones that I really like are the ones that I came up with that actually got implemented. Vampire Attacks Random Town was this random idea I had that I thought was hilarious, and then Pink Puff helped me put it in. And I mean, the Alt Fiends I think are a great addition. The Alt Fiends help to add a little bit of that Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, Final Fantasy V Career Day, boss shuffle feel to the game. Even though our game is way more limited right now, just
Oh,
by
yeah.
how many boss slots we have and what we can actually do.
Mhm.
At some point, it'd be nice to see like an SNES conversion of the Final Fantasy randomizer, so that we could add more areas and more bosses and more dungeons and just add more flesh to the game.
True.
But until we have that right now, this is the best compromise, and I like it.
Very good. What is your favorite flag to see turned on?
Set RNG.
Ooh, a
Ooh.
fan of the set RNG.
I
Interesting.
love set RNG. I like knowing that if I run into something terrible, everyone I'm racing is running into something terrible.
That's true. It is
I've had too much bad luck where it hasn't worked out that way. So,
the ultra equalizer. It's not Topher anymore. Now it's set RNG.
mm-hmm.
All right. TFCC or TFC Earth?
Which one am I checking? You mean?
Which one's the worst to check? Which one's like, oh, I gotta go check that?
I really hate the Earth one.
Everyone does.
TFC generally I'm walking past if I have to check that floor.
Hmm.
But Earth, like, it's so out of the way in comparison to where you're walking. It's just it's not hard to check it, it's just obnoxious. And then every once in a while you get a floor that's packed with like ambush blaze wizards, and you're like, do I Check this chest, really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. All right.
yep.
If you're so okay, then what's your go-to party? If you just start up the randomizer
Fighter.
and boom, what are you doing?
If it's open and I can do whatever I want, fighter, thief, red, black.
Okay. Um, would you rather do Marsh Locked or Ordeals?
Oh, I always bet on ordeals.
Smart.
Always.
Smart play.
Every time I bet on ordeals, floater is there. I am never not betting on ordeals.
Smart play. Smart play. How do you like your Sky fourth floor maze? What way do you go?
The grid.
Yeah, the grid.
It's
Yeah.
upright, upright,
It's a different one. Haven't heard that
Oh,
one yet.
upright. No, sorry, up left, up left. I'm dyslexic. You got to give me a
Nope.
second when I say directions. Up left, because that's yeah. I'm doing the grid in my head.
I know. Trust me. Dyslexic here
Yeah,
too. Do
yeah.
it all the time.
Direction flip. No,
Yep.
up left, and I have to do it like a staircase like that because if I get a fight in the middle of it,
You forget.
and I'm trying to do it, yeah, a double, I forget
Yep.
where I am. So
Yep.
it's always the stair step.
I do it too. I do that too. This is going to be a loaded question because I think it's already been answered. But what's one thing you would like to see in the future of the randomizer?
SNES conversion.
As I said, loaded question. I knew that was the answer before
Yeah,
I
you
even
knew what
asked.
the answer was going to be. We've had a couple of different people say they could do it. No one has.
No
I'm
one-
not mad at anyone about it.
It's
Not an easy task.
no.
But I know that NES games can be upscaled, up-converted to the SNES. Entroper did it with Zelda 2 as just a proof of concept, and then he put like Mode 7 scaling on it and did rotations and stuff. It was dorky, but it was hilarious. I loved seeing it.
Of course.
So it's possible.
Of course.
And if it was in there, in the SNES, for us to play with that code and the randomizer was working, which is no small feat because you don't only have to get the game working, you have to get the randomizer working, and that probably means moving a bunch of crap that we have organized a certain way. That'll allow us to then maybe backport in other Super Nintendo features, like from other Final Fantasies, or, like bring in features that are in Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which one of our devs is also the dev of over there. He just brought in like the mission system from Free Enterprise into theirs, and if we had a bigger overworld and more dungeons and more things we could do, wouldn't a mission system be cool in our game? I'm just saying.
That's
Putting it out there.
I mean, I know exactly which dev it is, and big shout outs to him because he puts up with me. That's a big ask. I know I've said it multiple times, but big ask.
Would a Dawn of Souls conversion be easier, Kid Icarus? From the Final Fantasy randomizer on the NES, probably not. I think the nice thing about a Super Nintendo is that it's kind of an NES and a half. It shares architecture,
Yeah,
and
it
it got upgraded, but it's kind of an SNES or an NES and a half. So you can actually convert up, and there's a lot of early SNES games that were actually like started as NES games and then got converted in. So the process is there. You just have to figure out the maneuvering to make it happen.
Yeah. Case in point, Mario is Missing was actually on both and actually was up converted.
Yeah.
This one, I love this question. This is probably my favorite. What's the history behind your username?
I had friends that liked fantasy books. I personally don't read a lot of fantasy, and I definitely don't read D&D books because I have my own tumultuous history with D&D. But I was trying to figure something out, and someone suggested from like some Dragonlance books a combination of names, Dark Moon, Firelight, and I liked it. So I decided to try and bring it into Hotmail. And Hotmail at the time, because I'm old, had a 16-character limit.
Sure
and it was
did.
also Hotmail and not Outlook.
Yep.
So I had 16 characters, so I converted the LIGHT to LYTE in Darkmoon Firelight, and that became my 16-character name for the next 30-ish, almost 30 years. I've changed it a couple times. I did some variants on it, and then I crunched it down to darkmoon.exe at one point because I thought that was funny, and then because I was into Street Fighter for just a little bit of time, that became DarkmoonEX, and that's what I'm stuck with now, just because it's funny. There's no real reason to it besides most places have Darkmoon taken, but they don't have DarkmoonEX or EXE or any of those.
True.
So if I'm going to grab my name, I grab the shortest version I can to save me the amount of time I have to type. But then everyone just calls me Darkmoon, and that's really all I want to go by anyway.
That's fair. I mean, it's very. I put the EX in the title because it is the name.
It is.
All right, and now it's time for the final random question, which is different for each person. So, my question to you is, what is your favorite alt fiend that we have added and why? And there's a lot to choose
Mm.
from.
There is, and we have a ton of them.
I know.
Not all of which everyone has seen yet. I mean, there's what 85, 86
There's
of them, something like
there's
that.
81 in there right now, including
Plus
everything.
the original.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, if I had to do it, I'd probably pick one of the bonus.
The bonus guys? Yeah.
Excuse me, one of the bonus ones. I'm looking because I like the bonus ones. I like the creativity we added with adding in the bonus ones and just having some strange alternate versions of them.
I did like that too.
And I think although the names like Vana Kali and Half Goofla and all those for like alternate versions of the main fiends are funny, I kind of just like the story and the history of what we call the Armadusa.
There it is.
For coloring. Yeah, but it's the Gurmadusa of Death. We couldn't do another Gurmadusa because there's already a default one in the game, but Armadusa is our Gurmadusa of Death, and it's R because in the original version of the game where they appeared torturing everyone, they cast Blaze.
Yep.
Yep. So that was my inspiration for that.
And I will note that that was one of the few alt fiends that Dark Moon decided he was going to tell me what he wanted their spells and skills to be. So
you only get one instead of the pack of 8 or 9 that normally showed up. But I made sure that all the skills and spells that they were getting in that particular encounter, the ability to stun you, the ability to blaze you, I think we put some stoning in there specifically to make it as nasty a boss as we could. So if you got this vanilla version as a second fiend in Topher, it's ugly. It's not a pretty boss to fight.
No, and it's his classic gamer that might have death touch, but that's something that currently the alt fiends cannot do. It's random.
If we could automatically program them with high ambush and some sort of touch effect, we would. And this would be the only boss that we'd actually do that to.
Yes.
But because we want to emulate perfectly that whole vibe of the Gurmadusa of Death.
The pain.
But we got it about as close as we could for what it is as an alt fiend.
We did. I believe we did a really good job on that. It was
for sure.
But yeah, well, Dark Moon, it's been really great having you on. Because we're kind of winging this, as I'm not the guy usually in charge of keeping this whole thing together. That's a Jay thing, and that's cool.
Hey,
you're more than welcome.
I'll have internet back next week, I think.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm sure. Well, you're more than happy to hang out with us as we go through what. Now, Jay, I don't know if you want me to do this in rapid succession because I can do it.
Uh-oh.
But I can
Which
go.
one?
Well, we still have a couple more things to talk about. We're going to skip over a fair chunk of this.
Yeah.
But I can, if you want, I can try to go do my Jay Scheidel Woo Bear Chaos voice and just kind of go ham.
Go for it.
All right, so we're going to go over this real quick. So first, Lithuanian League changes. A few challenges have gone out this week. Windfox moving up very quickly. I believe he is challenging ADR next. That will be a fun one. Ale has lost to Phoenix, becoming the new leader of the ladder. That's right. The pun master himself is now in charge of the league, or the ladder. That's interesting. We had a couple more challenges. Maddie went and, I believe, beat Razor 1 and got some points there and then challenged me. I won that one, so yeah. But there's still time. You can still jump in and gain some points with the upcoming races. So yeah. We also have, as we discussed, I believe, last week, Pink Mage, Black Knight, White Ninja, and the random level 4 spell class. They're all in the beta right now. Give them a test. They should work. The tooltips, I believe, have been updated by Wild Ham. Once again, thank you very much for pushing that code out there. All right. Got a lot going on here. The Duckling Derby. Group A, once again, has racing on 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Fridays. Group B Sundays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The next race, I believe, is Shard Hunt and Toulouse. I'm not a fan of that because that's very reminiscent to the first one that I ran. That screwed me over. When I found out.
Toulouse.
Oh, it was Toulouse, and that's the day I found out what a Danny seed was. Because
nice.
She rolled it, and it was... Oh, Windfox giving us an update. Very likely that race is at around 2 p.m. tomorrow, waiting on EDR for confirmation. So keep an eye out for that one. I'm sure it'll be pinged in the race room, so you can all take a look at that. That was it was progression was in, of all places, Volcano in the second right chest where the linked box is, and I never checked that, and that was progression, and I fell to 7th
Yep.
place, and it was like great. That's just great. That was fun. Group A leaders. There has been some changes. Sorbius is now in first, followed by Scarcer, who was first and dropped down one, and then holding steady is Flurry 14 with 1 point between second and third, and only 3 points between first and second, with 2 races left to go. It's going to be close. Group B, meanwhile, tight group. Velison moved up 2 places to take first overall. Roger McBain moving up 1 place to take. Felician Velison first overall, moving up 2 places. Roger McBain moving up 1 place to second. Goldshocker Goldshocker has dropped to 4th, and we have Shadow MRT in 3rd. But the spread is so close. From 4th to 1st is only a 6-point difference. Every race is going to matter. This week on the ladder is actually Pest Control. Tonight's the last night to run. Unfortunately, probably won't be running it myself. I know Dark Moon has said that he's going to run it very soon, so look forward to that. Whew, man, that was so. Yeah, I managed to knock that out pretty quick.
Through quickly. Good job.
Thank you. It reminds me of my old chaos of that chaos of death with you and Woo Bear, which was still my personal favorite run to calm of all time. I was very proud of that.
That was ridiculous.
Yes, for you it was ridiculous, and that was a Danny Seed too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, don't remind me of that one.
No, it wasn't that bad.
So, yeah, closing out. I got a few things here, right?
Yeah, you can take that for a bit.
Yeah, no problem. So hopefully, when all of this chaos is done, I'm settled a little bit more. We'll be working on some new ads. So I don't think we had any ad reads going on tonight.
No.
But with a little bit of change things going on, some new ad reads will be back. I think we got another Garland one coming and some other stuff crazy. So that'll be coming out pretty soon.
Yep.
Do remember, and actually I think we had a mailbox question that we forgot to ask. We might have to go around this one in a second.
We'll have to come back to it.
We do have our mailbag. So it's pinned in the OJ Power Hour channel if you want to send in anything. We've got a couple guests upcoming that you may want to send in some questions for. So we'll spoil that here in just a second. But go ahead, send us on anything. We'll ask them to the guests or we'll ask them ourselves, and we'll go from there. And then speaking of that, I think we got through the other day, and we have the next 2 months of guests planned out already.
Yeah, we have booked ourselves out solid.
We've got to contact a few of them, but just how things are lining on up. So it's going to be a great summer that we got planned up for you guys. So stay tuned for all of that. But before we spoil it next week, the mailbox question, Oslotto, what was it?
Yes, so we took a question out of the mailbox. In an alternate timeline where you can have a party of 5, what would your favorite team comp be? So, Dark Moon, I'll ask that to you first, since you're the guest, and you're still here.
Oh, that is interesting. And I like my gut was immediately like, well, now I can just do like Fighter Thief Rainbow and take all the mages, and then immediately my brain said, ew. So, because it's like, what do I actually want most of the time when I'm in Toph or whatever, or fighting through the game? I want to be able to buff my characters.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to melee in Topher, and I also need to have some AoE for early to mid game that I can manage until I get some good weapons and can start powering up my melee. And realistically, I think if I was to have a 5-character party that I could do anything I wanted with, I'd probably end up going, weird as it is, Fighter, Thief, Black Mage.
Wow, going with complete offense. I like it, though.
Mm-hmm. Speed and power.
Jay? What about you?
So I've got 2 options for this, because my first one was the same. It was Fighter, Thief, Red, Black, White. Like, that was just kind of my first, let's cover everything.
Makes sense.
I think I would probably go Fighter, Thief, Black, White, to go ahead and get that White Mage in there and get that extra defensive. But I could see a Fighter, Black Belt, Thief, Black, White.
Interesting.
And that gives you the ability to hedge bets late game.
All right, yeah, I can see that.
Bets.
That's okay. I can see that. I can see that working out pretty well. But
Like black belts.
no. But I mean, I would go with, and it's a horrible name for it, TB Rainbow. Thief, Black Belt, and all the things, because that gives me the best opportunity. Yeah, if I find the X-Cal, I'm kind of screwed. But if I find a Vorpal, I can give it to the Thief. If I find the katana, I can give that to the thief. If I find both, the red wizard can hold one. If I find neither, damn them all, and away we go. Power punch cannon online. Because I am.
Now, I will say, one of the best games I ever did was with Gouda. And we decided we wanted to do a dumb party, and this was back when the thieves weren't good. Bear in mind, thieves have gotten better since then. But we did triple thief black mage, and that was a blast. And if we were just be like, hey, let's make a dumb party, and we had this 5-character ability, quadruple thief black mage.
But is that quadruple thief with the original 10 agility?
You know what? I leave that up to my opponent to decide how good that thief might be. I'm still playing it.
To be fair, when we did the Platy Party Race 2, the thief, it was old ST flags, and the thief was at base agility at 10. And I still took it with the same logic behind it. If I find a single good weapon that's not the X-Cal, I stop opening boxes. And I found a katana plus 5, and boom, I stopped. And I think out of all the platypuses that went into that race, not many of them took the thief. I think Budge might
You gotta
have.
have a thief.
I think Budge, maybe
Thief
Budge,
is in every one of my parties. Yeah.
Budge or Marcus, one of the two
ditto.
I think took one. I know Chanigan didn't. Pretty sure Chanigan
Thief is
didn't.
too good at
Can't
this point, even without lock picking on. Even if he has the slightly lower agility from that usual 80 bonus that he gets because the randomizer makes them OP. Thief is just too good. The ability to run alone is worth its weight.
It's true. The luck in the running is why I took.
The corrected luck, yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Now, if we were talking vanilla thieves...
No, vanilla, I always took the same priority. Double black belt, white black.
Vanilla, I did
Punch
fighter rainbow. Because, the thief wasn't worthwhile, and I didn't want to spend, going to, 40 on my black belt. So, even when I do, vanilla runs, when we're trying to teach the ducks...
black.
Yeah. When we're doing, vanilla runs, true vanilla, for, teaching the ducks what the base game looks like, I'll do fighter rainbow. Only if we have the improved vanilla on... will I take the thief.
Yeah, you don't want the non-improved vanilla because that's just pain. That's just pain.
Thief's useless in the vanilla game.
Oh, so useless.
So bad.
I didn't know that.
No one did.
I played with a thief and I died.
Yeah.
No one
I died
knew
a lot.
because Nintendo Power lied to each and every one of us. Never forget that. Never forget they told you things. No, okay, so Gary Marcus did not take the thief, so it wasn't him. I can never remember. I know I did. Yeah, so the last thing I think that's on the agenda is the plug for next week. We have a very special episode coming. This is one we can't talk about too much, but we're gonna have Fizzle himself along with Caleb on for a very, very special episode. And we have been told that we're allowed to use 2 words to describe the whole thing: meal prep. That's all I can say.
I'm intrigued.
But yeah, by all means,
You won't want to miss it.
you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be a great show. Hopefully, our technical issues will be solved by then. Yeah.
They should.
Well, we made it through another episode. It was this is what you call cobbled. We did cobbled together as it was, but we did it. Yeah. So we will be back next week. I really, really hope that it's not going to be as horn-shoed together as it was this time. I mean, again, we make it work, and I'm more than happy to...
It happens.
It does, and I'm happy to keep coming back and keep doing my thing. And hopefully everyone enjoyed the great art. Once again, thank you, Dark Moon, for being on here. That was spectacular to see.
You're welcome.
And I got a platypus out of it.
You did?
Yay. Yeah, any last words, Mr. J. Scheidel? Anything else you'd like to say before we sign off for the evening?
Nothing too crazy. Thanks for putting up with 480p.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with my inability to keep the buttons working. I could do restreaming. Doing actual streaming, let's just say it's iffy. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you all back here next Tuesday for what comes next. We don't know. It's meal prep. Who knows? But yeah, by all means, watch the ducks, support the randomizer community. If you're new, join up, FinalFaceRandomizer.com, all that fun stuff. We will be back next week. We were happy to have Dark Moon on with my co-comps Jay Scheidel. I am Oslodo, and I will see you in the next round.